welcome back to Webley Hour and day 13, never know how I feel about that, of our Twilight Book Mall build. It's possible, I'm not going to swear to it, might be the last day today, but we still have wiring to do and we know that can be problematic. Anyway, this is where we are. I'm really happy with how it ended up turning up this roof. And this little area here, I think it looks quite delightful. In fact, I'm really liking this build. So we are going to move on and see how far we can get. Got things attached which shouldn't be where they were. Alright, so first things first, we will be putting this wall on, and it will be going this way, and I know, and it doesn't tell you almost to the end, that there is going to be our little sign here, so I want to give that a start, and then I'm going to sort out Juliet because she's back, she's awake again. It's not that she's back to being awake, but I thought she'd settled, decided she wasn't. Let's put it that way. This is our 1980 sign. Sorry. And I'm leading on the camera. So we're giving this speaker one more time. Not speaker, the microphone. One more. Hold on, let me get this a bit more stable. Okay, let's see if that helps. One more time to see if it does what it did yesterday. It did really weird things, like it was I've got the one attached to my webcam, so as I'm recording it should be picking up my voice, but then even though it was on pause, it picked up weird and wonderful things and really knocked the timing off overall. So we will see how we go. If it plays up again today, we're going to be back to where it was, and this camera's still not stable. I don't think it's on all 4 feet. Oh, it might be now, as long as I don't move my chair. Okay, so that's what we have for that, and we are going to be putting on these 2 walls now. So we want to get this one out of the way again, and we are going to be putting in this wall on the back here, and it's labelled. It goes on the edging. There's a little edging going along, and it goes along there. So we're going to get this in. I'm just going to use some tacky for this. I should get my paper up again. It's kind of in use. It's mending a broken part. I have pulled all the rest of what we need to complete this build, so I do really have high hopes that we are going to finish today. So that's not where it's going to go. It needs to. Well, it's definitely not going to go like that either. So we want it quite a bit more over to there, I think. It's hard to tell if the next piece is on the outside or the inside in reality. I think it's outside it. I think it runs along here. Well, I guess it can't. Well, it can and it can't. Okay, let's try that again. So I'm thinking if I have to be interrupted, if I actually stop the video and then do editing to put it all together at the end, maybe that will work as far as this weird sound goes. So then this one will go along here. I thought she'd stopped. Now I'm not so sure. And it goes underneath. Remember this side had that little gap thing? That's what it's for. So let's pop that glue on here. Let me stick. And what we want to do is have it along the bottom. And this should be a bit neater with less, she says, less going up it like that. Unless it's a big piece. Some of the furniture pieces we're going to be using soon are quite big. So if you get it on the inside of here, it's not really a big deal. But I thought while she was doing her barking, I will reach up and get my paper. Okay, and then we'll put it on here, following that line. slide it into there, and then square it up because it's definitely not square. Now this, like B7000 actually, if you make an error, unfortunately, it will pull up your paper. So then we're going to put our flooring disc on, which is also going to be in this section. That I'm going to just do direct. Doesn't matter which way round it is, as long as we aim for the hole. The circle, it's got a circle on the floor. Okay, and again keeping our wire out of the way. But we right, take 3. Okay, then we are going to be putting in these units. This one we made goes right in the corner. Can't see it being seen. So I'm going to pop some on the back here. It's going to help make sure everything's square. I don't know that she's going to settle at all. She has a lot to say. And I'm sorry, I'm putting glue on. Probably need to zoom the camera out a little bit, really. What goes into there? Let me see, get that camera zoomed. Alright, let's see if that's better. And then next to it goes this one. Again, probably not going to see an awful lot of it. It's always a shame when, you know, some things take quite a long time to do, but it is the nature of these models, which is why some of these rooms being quite empty, almost, or in comparison to their normal, it's empty. So I'm going to put some on the side here, wrong side, on the side here, and here, as well as on the bottom, and then some on the back as well. It doesn't need a ton, it just needs some. It's like a car engine revving up. It's like boop, boop, boop. Well, I put glue there and didn't need it, it's not touching. Should have tested it, huh? Okay. And then lastly will be this one. That's a big one we made. Quite early on, wasn't it, on this one? Oops, I got glue splodge on there. And same again. All along the bottom and then on the back as well. And that goes in here. And then the last thing on this furniture wise is going to be our grandfather clock. This one we also made a while ago. And this one I'm going to dunk in that glue that I had on the paper, except for the back where we can add a bit extra, because I'm not 100% sure what it's going to touch and what it isn't. So like so. And that will sit there. So anything in that far corner would not be seen anyway. Right, next we have our wiring to do, this particular one, and what we want to do is we want to take it up here, like so, by the side of it basically, and up to, on the inside, but up to this point here. It's going to have plenty over. Almost could have popped it down more. I wonder if I could do that. Wonder if I could find out which one it is. I don't know that I can. Let me see, because I know we're going to need it to come out to about here. So anything excess of that we need to lose down the bottom. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it that way. I'll have to find another way. Alright. So what you need is, does it give you any measurements at all? No, not really. I'm going to take it up to here. Alright, I might be able to lose it through the post it's going to go onto. Let's go with that. So I am going to run a bead of tacky along here for it to hold. With a stick as well, because I can't get it in there. Not with the bottle, the nozzle's just too wide. I'm going to bead down here. So I'm going to lose the excess at the top, I think that's how I'm going to do it. She really is, she's like a misfiring engine. I mean, in some ways it's good she's found her voice, but goodness, she makes me jump every time. And then I drop things. It's just a calamity going on. So I'm just going to put that there for a moment while we get on with something else. And then we'll carry on with where this wire is going to go. So I think what would be a good idea is to push it in against the unit so it doesn't overly show, because there is a little segment there. Like, you could literally hide it behind here, couldn't you? Doesn't tell you to do that, but it makes sense to do that. Mine doesn't want to stay there, but and you're not going to see any excess glue on this. Oh, come on. Take that glue, or wires rather, not glue. See how you feel about that. What do you mean you don't care? It's how it's feeling right now. Okay. And then what we want to do is take it along the top. You know, yesterday I had this camera very comfortable, and today I don't have it comfy at all. Right. She might have settled, I've covered her up. We'll see how that goes. And then take it to the top. That wire came out again, you know. You're not going to see it, I should really stop worrying about it. And yet, here I am. It's like doing as I'm looking at it. It's defying me, that's the thing. It's defying me. I don't like things that defy me. Alright, so next we are going to ignore those wires now. We are going on to putting these two that we made, that one and this one, so that they face the right way, which is like so, on the circle. just some tacky or wood glue. I know I need to get the wood glue out. Where do they have it? They kind of have it on the base, so it shows a bit of it and it covers up some. So something like so. And of course it's up to you how you do it. You could have them joining. I quite like the idea of a space being in between. Somebody could squeeze in there maybe. Maybe make it a bit wider, so they do have a little bit of room. Maybe a little bit more. Something like so. Then we are moving on to, what are we doing? We are putting the wall on from this side. So let's do a few things with this. Don't need that yet. Don't need that yet, but we will. In fact, I'm tempted to put this on already. Let me find out where this goes. Okay, it goes. Oof. Can I tell? Yes. At the end of here, going across. Can I get it to stay in one place like that? It's a bit tricky. And this is to hang the light on, which is why I know I've got too much light. But this looks like it comes from a lot further. It also looks like these units are at an angle, by the way. It doesn't say to do that. It's confusing me to the old brain. What does it say? Oh, it does. So basically this one shouldn't necessarily be in the corner like that. Let's move our clock. Interesting. Okay, well that'll make more sense. So let's take these off a second. They weren't dried yet. Oh, it's going to rip. It ripped a bit, but I think we'll be okay with what we're going to be doing. Okay, so this one goes at an angle to here, like so. So not how I had it. And this one's also at a slight angle. So they're like this. Just a slight angle, I guess, so you can see them a little bit from the outside. Okay. If they say so. Well, it doesn't show that. When you first put them in, it doesn't show it like that at all. Okay, and then the clock. Right, so can I now do this? That's the question, because we want it kind of to be behind it. So maybe we can. Or do we want to wait to put that front on? Maybe. Okay, changed my mind anyway. So we need this piece next, I believe. No, we don't. Where is the piece that I need then? Oh, all the way over here. Need this piece. We also need to put in a piece of, we need to put a window in it. So do that while it's flat. Interesting about this. It did not specify until it comes a picture like 3 next to it that it's meant to be not against the wall. Okay, let's get our window in. Just put the glue away. Okay, doesn't need a ton, just a little. Pick your best side. Not identical, there's more of a pattern on this side, like so. Doesn't really matter what it looks like on the other side of it. And then again, we're not going to see the inside of this, so you're going to do that, and then put a little bit along the edge. So, hello window, don't come out on me. And this will go along here. So after making quite a fuss about that wire, you're really not going to see it at all. Okay, now we put this bar in, going across. Still wants it quite a way back. I thought it would be a bit closer, to be honest. And that's what our light's going to sit on, which it wants you to do next. Not quite, almost. So next we need this little piece here and our picture, which is of, what do you think it's of? Don't know the answer to this. I got my instructions on the wrong side too. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, it goes up this way. It kind of goes up towards the top. This sits at the back, and then it breaks from doing this whole section and gets you to do that light, which I will want it to take a moment. It looks almost like a portrait, doesn't it? It's probably very famous and I'm just ignorant to it. Is it ignorant if you don't know? I don't know. I'm not very good with my paintings. I know the haystack, I think, in the... I was going to say in the 3 flower one, but I actually can't remember the name of it. I'm sure I would. Oh, in Starry Nights. I've seen Starry Nights. And the Scream. I've seen those. Okay, picture. Go back on. Again, it probably should have been something that I had done right at the beginning. It would have taken by now. Instead of being very crooked. Just make sure it's within its line. I think so. And I haven't knocked the painting. I think we're okay. Because I want to give this a moment, I will take a quick break and then we will come back to doing a few other things. In fact, I'll tell you what I will do. This does have a window going to go in it, so I'll get that done. And which side is it going on? Because there is a lip on here. Which way is that lip meant to be? Let's see. Okay, Okay, it's front. So it wouldn't make any difference to the window anyway, would it? So put this in, and in fact we can get the front on too. We have to do the light as well at some point. That's coming probably now. Why don't I do that? So this light here goes up like so and points outward, out and down, so like so. It's no longer as round as it once was. This paper's definitely got squashed over the time. So again, run up some tacky on here. And again, you're not going to see it too much. But it does need to be the other side of where this wall's going to go. Lost my tweezers, don't know what I've done with them, probably left them inside the model. I was thinking maybe that's why the cutout's there, and the cutout's for allowing for the bottom here of the wire. But I really don't think it is anything to do with it. Oh. Maybe that's why that same post isn't put in until when it is. I'm going to pop this on because I think that notch that I talked about is actually for this light. So I'm going to pop that in, and that'll give us a little bit more help. I'm putting more glue down when I've got plenty here. So let's just get some glue on here. Don't know why I'm using a cotton bud instead of the things I have for the job. Okay, so we want the wire to go behind it, but then pop over it like so. Mine doesn't overly like this idea at all. Right, let me get that sorted. Okay, that's on, but it should really be poking all the way down. The wire's not long enough, so this wire seems to be too short, whereas this top wire seems to be too long. I just realised that this one fell. Okay, so then what we are going to do is put, what are we doing? So this piece, this piece on it, which has a decal there, and that sits on the outside, or should. It's hard to get at with this other building in the way, really. So yeah, it's going to sit on the outside. So just going to use B7000 for this. So just run along a bead either side, and then one down here. Let me see if I can get you a bit better angle. So what you want to do, there's still some movement fortunately on the sides, both the sides that I've done, is make sure that it's lined up on both sides, which seems to be okay. And then we are going to put our door in. Now they have this door closed, which is this one that we did. So let's do that. I can see why, I think. It was kind of getting in the way of the wrap, wasn't it, or the bridge. So could we then have put it in beforehand? Probably. Yeah. And now we're going to put the roof on this. And we have a little bit of decoration to do after we've done that too. So the first one you want to put on is this side here. So again, you could use a bit of B7000 on here. Well, I can't believe it's getting hard to get it out, it's not that old. And on the ends here and here. I think it goes on the inside actually. Yeah. I have a feeling my patience just isn't there really. I don't like that the wire was short if in reality. I don't like this idea. And then the other piece. I actually don't know what I think I was putting glue on when I was putting glue on it on the other one just now, because it didn't go on any of the places that I thought it was going to. And then like so. It almost looks like it's the paper rather than the corrugated, but it's corrugated. But from the other angle it didn't look like that. Okay, this one comes even with the wall, and the other one slightly protrudes over. Glue all over me, and then we have a piece of wood that's going to go at the top there, and we have a sign to put on here too. I'll find out where that sign goes. I might get that on. And this goes on the top. And get the wood glue all off me. Wood glue. I haven't used any wood glue. And I think this book goes back here. Let me just check if I can find out where it is. It's probably put right on at the end, but I think we're okay to put it on. Yeah, it's just on the inside of here. Okay, so let's get that on too. And it's this one, it's this sign. So plenty of surface area on this one compared to some. I'm just going to go like so. Glue all over the show. Alright, and that's how that's all looking. This, because I've moved it, it really just doesn't want to stay where I want it to anymore. B7000 on there too. That will teach it. Okay, and next we will do the lights. So I'm going to give this a few minutes, get my hands tidy, and we'll be back. Okay, pretty happy with how this turned out. Not happy about the light not being in the right position. And unlike this one, which doesn't have enough wire, this one has way too much. So I was thinking maybe I could take it around the side, but I don't think I can. It's not quite long enough for that, so let's get it in place as to where it wants it. And then I'm going to, I just don't understand why there's even a notch here, really. Maybe we could put it in front of it. could do that. Let's do that. Take a little bit more wire, and then we can put a little bit on here, on the edges, on the end. And have it go something like so with that string. And maybe have it like that. Right, what are we going to do with you, wire? Well, we could double back on itself. Just trying to think. Maybe have it attached like this to the roof. Almost needs a little bit of tape to keep it all tallied up. Maybe like so. That could work. Okay, right, let's get some glue on there. Try and keep it roughly together. And get it started to be a bit tacky before we put the roof on. And then we are going to put the roof on next, which goes on the inside, not on the outside. Or at least I believe it does. I'm pretty sure it does actually. Go along here too. Okay. And we take our roof before we put the front on. Well, I couldn't swear that that was true actually. I think we put the front on first, but that's okay, that'll give it extra time to stick. So we pop this on the right way around, like so. And this has a bit of green attached to it, so let's get that on first too. Now my green piece is the one that broke, so there are lines for it on here. So if I do so, like so. And we could do that before we put it on. I was almost tempted to stop making this, by the way, and waiting to finish it another day, because I have no idea, because we're having to start this camera so much today that I don't know how we ended up doing. So you can see there's still quite a bit of damage on here. It just came out with forming pieces. It's okay. Worst comes to worst, if it really bugs me, which it might because it is on display, then I will go over it with some black pen. Black marker seems to work quite well with that green. Okay, a little bit on the bottom. Because we are close to the end, so this might go over the hour where I try and make the target. We then pop this in our little bookcase. I'm going to put this along this edge because it's going to lean on here, like so. Make sure we're happy with how this is all in. And now it's lining up. Okay. Then we take our roof and we fold it in half. So, and then turn up both the sides at the bottom all the way along. Same with this. So you're following the groove of the cardboard. So it looks something like so, with it just turned up, and that pops it on here. And hopefully my lights will hide themselves on there enough. Don't know why I'm pushing the front, because I don't put any glue on there. Okay, that's in. Let's pop a bit on the back of here, even though it's only at the top. Okay, and this one does not have a piece that runs alongside, runs along the front of it rather. And light-wise, or wire-wise, that is hidden. I don't see that wire at all. Only the bit that comes down that way, and that's okay. We're allowed to have wires in the model. Okay, right, next. Now it's all finishing touches really. We have some railing going on. Now they do all have different numbers, so I kind of batched them together and marked them. So let's see what we are starting with. We are starting with a number 31. If I can read my writing. 31. Basically, it's going to go along here and up here. That's going to be 31. And then we are next to that, we are going to go 29. And there are markings on there, they're just hard for me to see in reality. So that's 29. There's not the tweezers I thought I got out, but okay. Slightly lower than the other one. Doesn't look like that in the photo, maybe it does. Then a 32, which is one of these ones. Maybe I'll pop it on the ends too. Okay, alright. Then we will be having a 29 again. Maybe this one's up the wrong way, you know. I bet it is. Definitely think it was. Because they are the same height, so just bear that in mind. If it's looking lower, it's not on the right way. Okay, lengthways up then. Followed by 232s, I believe. Yep. And then another 29. No, this one goes the wrong one. And 29 in between. Something like so. Right, almost. Okay. Followed by putting in the book, which is this one here. It's going to go up here. And something else. What else was going on there? A box. The box which should have had the inside that doesn't, because I got it wrong. And that's meant to go all the way over there, but I guess it could. Or is it? No, I think it's meant to go inside. Just stopping people going around that side, I guess. And then now we turn it over. Okay, then we're putting in our art supplies. That's right, easel. Like so. Our paint brushes. And the rest of the railing. So we put in 30 there. That's the long one. So 28 must be going here. Not that I could have got these muddled up really, these big ones. So just putting a bit of glue on the bottom. Like so. And the last railing. Actually, you know what? We still have wiring to do, don't we? Forgot all about the wiring. Okay. And then we have one more thing to put on it decoration wise. and then the wiring to do, which this goes back here and it goes up with the red marker upwards to the top. And mine has that bit of block of wood in that it's not meant to have. Bless. And that's going to need a bracket on there. I can see it's pushing out on here. Okay, wiring. Right, I think I'm going to take a break and I will come back and do the wiring when I have a little bit more daylight. So I'll video this tomorrow and that'll give everything a chance to settle. But it does make it a long video, but sorry. Alright, okay, see you tomorrow morning, or the same in a moment for you. Alright, see you in a minute. Okay, that's had overnight. I feel better than I did. So, first thing they get you to do on the wiring is take your white and your grey wire, the really short ones right back here, these ones, and put an extension wire on them. So that's why they provided the extension wire, and they say 75mm. So I'm just going to fold it in half. I've got loads of this anyway. Cut it in half. You can do it with a pair of scissors, you don't have to do it with the right tool. And take a piece off. Now, I differ from most, well, from some. They have the wiring tape. You can certainly use that if you are comfortable doing so. With me, not so much. So I'm now going to take off the other end, so it's got wire on both ends showing. Sorry, I'll just get you down there a bit, huh? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one with this. It is a tight fit. So if you're using tape, you will be able to do this a bit better than I at this point. The reason I use the wire nuts, which are, when I can pick one up, these ones, which just have a screw basically in the bottom and it twists the wires, is because my hands aren't strong enough to make them actually stay, which is horrible. Now I have checked, there's enough room because we don't have a music box anyway to pop these up the top. So you put them on, you can see that did not take. If you can tug it, it has not taken. So just make sure it is in the middle there. It's also a way if you're you don't have enough room to use a wire nut, which in this case I do, I really can't get it in, then it is a way also to, where was I going? Can't remember where I was going. Not to worry, let's just get on with it. And just keep going as far as you can. Okay, I am going to fold this over as well to give it a really good grip. I mean, in this case I am almost tempted because it has got a start. By using the wire nuts, I've got a start that I've actually got a pretty good grip on these, and it probably would be okay to use the paper. And you can see I can tug it now and it is okay. So with this one though, this other wire, what you want to do, because it's going on the grey, I always mark it with a black marker on one end, just so I know it's a different wire to the white one, because obviously these are both white and we know which one's which. Now if you can't see the grey, because it's very 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 similar to the white, if you can't see it, then I suggest you just do this to all the grey wires as you go along and you're installing things, just to make sure that when it comes to separating them, which you're going to need to do, that it will be a lot easier for you. So just put this in. Now we are then going to trim these wires up. Now it doesn't say to do that, but I will be doing it. because by trimming them you don't have as much wire inside, so you will end up with more extension wire. So if you've lost your extension wire that came with the kit, it doesn't end up being such a big deal. As you can hear, she's not totally settled, so I folded it over in this case. I think the wires are just too thin. Hold on. Okay, I think she's settled. Anyway, I went ahead and got that one on. They're not easy when they're this small and you're using wire nuts, to be honest with you, and if your hands work fine then you don't need to do that. Then what we are going to do is we're going to separate our wires. So what we want is we want grey one side, hopefully as untwisted as you can to make life a bit easier, and then we're going to shorten them up to all be in the same level. This one's quite a short one as well. So I'm just going to try and untangle it from that white wire there. Just get them all to one side. I used to do like an under and over for the wires at one point. I don't know how to do that so much anymore. That's a grey. As you can see, it's a bit tricky. So grey in there. I can't remember the number of wires, of course, we're meant to have. I think it's 9, isn't it? Use some white by the looks of it. Okay, so let's just count how many we got. We got another short one there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're going to have this one, the one with the black on it as well. Which one's that? There it is. 9. So it is 9. Okay, so let's get the whites out of the way using the door. Then what you want to do is all these really long ones you want to cut shorter. So keeping them all to one side and separated. Cut it a bit shorter, doesn't need to be this long. You could keep this if you want, it's not long enough for me to worry about keeping it. And then pull off the end for it. So this one again is quite long, so I'm going to cut it here, pull off the end, and it shows the wire. You can also do it with a pair of scissors. Some people do it with their nails. And on me, I'd go through. That said, I always allow a little bit extra when I'm cutting them, because sometimes you could do this and you end up going straight through, and you end up with a really short one if you did it to length. So it's still going to be a bit longer than what we need. And then I'll be doing the same to the white wire. So let me get these grey ones on and I'll show you that, and then I'll just go ahead and get the white ones done. Now, not only do we need to get all these together, we need to bring it in the box itself. And we want the red, I believe, going, and I'll check this. Red is going to go to the grey, I think, or the white. I think it goes to the white actually, but I'll check that theirs are the same as most people's. Let's have a look. Does it tell me? Right, trim. It does tell you to trim, by the way, I think. Trim them to be uniformed. Oh, and then it repeats its step. Okay, let's tell me. Right, down the bottom here. Red to the white, yeah. So, now these ones are a lot harder to strip, and they only ever show the tiniest of wire on the end of them, and I don't like that. So I've just got a little bit more going here. Hopefully you can see that, probably not so well, but you can see it maybe on here. There's just a tiny bit more than what we're showing. Alright, so gather all your wires. So I'm doing grey anyway, so I need the black wire, not the red. this one's actually got a little bit more. Just go careful not to pull too much on where it's going into the battery box. Well, you don't want to pull on any of the wires really. A gentle tug is different to a pull. These actually are quite difficult to get off. Just I personally prefer a little bit of wire, extra wire showing, and you can see. Okay, so it is black. I should know this because I always think to myself black goes with black and white would go together a bit better, but that's not how it works. So if any of them still have the caps on like this one, just pull it off and line them up with your battery box. And even with using a wire nut, I will make a start on twisting them together. You're always working with wires, it is a very tight spot. And like this one probably could have done with an extension as well, but we are where we are. Right, I'm going to start twisting them even though I've got another one to come. And that's this one. I think I've got another two. Maybe another three. Okay, so I can see a problem here already. So I'm going to take this out of the way. I'm going to get all the wires lined first. I'd already lost the little wire box. So get all these lined up. Get this little one back out again. And again, you could put another extension wire on this little one. It's perfectly acceptable. And then this last grey one. So it looks like we've got a white one amongst it. That's because that's our extension wire. And I'm going to twist these together like so. It's the extension wire one that's given me the most hassle too. Keeps popping up higher. Okay, and then we're going to get this black line. Basically you want everything touching this black wire. So I'm going to fold them over. Now this time I'm going to use a blue colour one. It's slightly bigger hole in it, but it should be still tight enough to really give it a good grip of all the wires together. It might be too small, but you can see gentle pull. And then I'm going to do the same with all the white wires, so I'm going to be a moment. Alright, so once those are both done, you can test. I like to just put them in here out the way, and let's get these batteries in and see what we have. Cross fingers guys, cross fingers, it's a lot of lights. Okay, pop the top on. And we have nothing. Okay, alright, let me investigate. Probably knocked out that red wire again. Okay, one, I didn't have the batteries in right. Oh, such a rookie move. Number two, we are now working. So we can pop this back on and we can have a look at how we look. I know this is run over, I'm sorry, but you get it done. So it's up to you. I would personally, I think, put the box where you can turn it on and off so you don't have to keep pulling it out every time. So whatever works for you. It's a tight fit for the box, but it does fit. So I can just about turn it on and off. Close your hatch, which doesn't have a way to catch, so this is where we are. So how beautiful is that? Let's get you to have a better look. How wonderful is that? So do they all work? That's the question. We have one there, we have one down there, we have one there, we have one there, we have one there. I have the bright one there because I couldn't get it to point downwards. We have this one working. So are we missing any? That's one. This is working. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm missing one, I think. yeah, I am missing one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't add up at all now. So there's 2 inside here. So there's 4 downstairs. 1, 2, and it looks 3 upstairs. That would make 7. Well, that doesn't add up at all, does it? I'll have to see where I'm missing one. I'm probably 8. I'll have to see where I'm missing one, because I think there was 9 wires, but I can only actually literally see 4 lights, bulbs. I will have to see if I find a missing one. Anyway, that's what we have. I still think it lights up beautifully, even if I can't find the one I'm missing. I'm sure it's tucked away somewhere and I'm just literally missing it. So that's what we have. Other than my little bright light. I'll have to look at the instructions again, find out where it's missing. A little bit of a glow on that, isn't there? But I don't see where any other lights are that haven't come on. There's not one on there. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, how beautiful is that? One way or another. How beautiful. Or maybe I just can't add up. But it looks like 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom. It's bugging me now because it's like, I'm sure there were 9 wires. I don't think I'm going crazy on that. But I don't know where the other wiring is. There were definitely 9 wires and 1 extension. Hold on, let me go and find out. It's going to bug me. Oh my goodness, it took me forever. It's the one underneath the canopy. So in front of the front door. Wow. Okay, took me that long. Alright. Anyway, any comments are very much appreciated. I do think it looks very delightful. Very happy with that. And yeah, any comments, I'll always get back to you. Do please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me try and get that a little bit more centered for you. Do please, like I say, I can't remember where I was. Anyway, most of all, take care of you. Next build, I think it's going to be a Row Life post office, but I might change my mind. But that's where we are right now. Alright, take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.